Hello and welcome to the explosive weekend debate with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a fresh showdown between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP as Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal faces the heat from the Enforcement Directorate in the Liquorgate scandal. Now, after Delhi Police's crime branch served a notice to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Delhi Minister Atishi over their MLA poaching claims after a complaint from the BJP to furnish proof, the Aam Aadmi Party convener hit out at the BJP, accusing it of forcing him to join the party to be spared of all corruption allegations. Atishi also said that the crime branch's job is to serve the country, but it was working for its political masters. In fact, Jasmine Shah confronted the crime branch outside the Chief Minister's residence, demanding answers in front of the media. But the refusal of the police officials to indulge the Aam Aadmi Party leader has become proof for the party that a conspiracy is at play. Now, Arvind Kejriwal has skipped summons 5 times now, and his key leaders are still in custody over the Liquorgate scandal without any legal relief. The BJP, meanwhile, has asked the Delhi Chief Minister to walk the talk and furnish evidence when it comes to this poaching scandal, something the party has not done ever since Manish Sisodia made the same claim before his arrest. But the question remains, is this poaching proof from the Aam Aadmi Party? Is it valid? Do they have any evidence to substantiate their claims? Or is this pure politics before the Lok Sabha polls coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party camp? This is our top focus on the explosive weekend debate.
मर्जी षड्यंत्र कर ले हमारे खिलाफ, कुछ नहीं होने वाला। ये कहते हैं बीजेपी में आ जाओ, हम छोड़ देंगे। मैंने कहा बिल्कुल नहीं आऊंगा बीजेपी, कतई नहीं आऊंगा बीजेपी। क्यों आ जाए बीजेपी में? नहीं आते बीजेपी में।
कहते हैं जी क्राइम ब्रांच का नोटिस है और नोटिस सीधा मंत्री जी के हाथ में दे। जो बेचारे क्राइम ब्रांच के अफसर आए, हमें उन बेचारों पे के दया ही आती है।
अगर कोई दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री ऐसे हमारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऊपर में आरोप लगा रहा है, तो हमारी कंप्लेंट के ऊपर में दिल्ली पुलिस के अधिकारी जब इनके घर जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर ये अपना घर छोड़कर भाग जाते हैं।
एलिगेशंस लगे तब ऑन द रन और एलिगेशन लगाकर हिट एंड रन, तो उनको सबूत पेश करना चाहिए, जांच में शामिल होना चाहिए।
And let's get to our guests. I'm joined by Bansuri Swaraj, BJP spokesperson, Shubh Malhotra, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, as well as Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on CNN News 18. Shubh Malhotra, of course, I'll come to you first. We'd want more details when it comes to Arvind Kejriwal's allegations. Let me read out that initial tweet that he put out. पिछले दिनों इन्होंने हमारे दिल्ली के 7 MLAs को संपर्क कर कहा है कुछ दिन बाद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार कर लेंगे, उसके बाद MLAs को तोड़ेंगे। 21 MLAs से बात हो गई है, औरों से भी बात कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद दिल्ली में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार गिरा देंगे, आप भी आ जाओ, 25 करोड़ रुपए देंगे और बीजेपी की टिकट से चुनाव लड़वा देंगे। हालांकि उनका दावा है कि उन्होंने 21 MLA से संपर्क किया है, लेकिन हमारी जानकारी के मुताबिक उन्होंने अभी तक 7 MLAs को ही संपर्क किया है और सबने मना कर दिया। Now we were expecting that press conference tomorrow at 10 AM, but that also stands cancelled. Now Bansuri Swaraj of the BJP is right here. Can you give us more details about this charge that has come in from the Aam Aadmi Party camp that there is a conspiracy to topple your government and 7 MLAs have been contacted by the BJP?
Of course, and it's no surprise. The question was for me, right, Ayushman?
No, it was first for Shubh Malhotra, and I'll get you to respond. I'm saying Bansuri Swaraj is right here. You can make the claims directly to Bansuri Swaraj. Ms. Shubh Malhotra, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I mean, the claim has already been made. And it is really no surprise because this is not the first time that this has happened in Delhi. And 2014, the Delhi BJP's own Vice President, Mr. Sher Singh Dhagar, AAP conducted a sting operation and caught him on video offering bribe to AAP MLAs, along with proof video, press conference was done, and proof was handed over to the police. The proof was so damning that BJP itself had to issue a show cause notice to Mr. Dagar. Now, I would like to ask what was achieved with this task. So, that also has to be put in context over here, that this repeated pattern that is there on part of BJP is not a surprise. And the same is being repeated again this year, because obviously BJP is afraid of the people's mandate, that has the immense mandate that continuously 4 times in a row has been given to Aam Aadmi Party. Now, you look at, if you take your camera, you are a journalist, if you take your camera, you go around the country, you see each and every state wherever BJP did not have a government, how they have very meticulously either used ED, CBI or conducted Operation Lotus and forced to bring MLAs on their side, whether be it 2016 in Uttarakhand, 2019 in Goa, again 2019 in Karnataka, 2020 in Madhya Pradesh, 2016 Arunachal Pradesh, 2017 Manipur, Bihar, Meghalaya. There is examples galore. And the most unfortunate bit is that while, BJP is so quick to send the crime branch to the Delhi Chief Minister and Delhi Education Ministers. By the way, the both of them were supposed to inaugurate a school in Rohini today. We want to inaugurate schools. We want to inaugurate hospitals. We want to inaugurate
I will ask that
but
specific question again. I'll ask that specific question again. 7 MLAs approached by the BJP. Which are these MLAs?
That proof will definitely be presented. It will be presented at an opportune time, but this is not something that is very unusual. It is a pattern on part of BJP.
At the end of the day, we want to get that. We want to get those names. We want you to put all of this out in the open. I remember Manish Sisodia, before he was arrested, made the same claim. Your party still hasn't told us what was that call, what were the details. There is no evidence from your side when it comes to this entire charge of poaching. And at the end of the day, it's quite baffling for me that the BJP wants none other than Arvind Kejriwal to join their ranks and fight elections when it comes to taking on the entire united opposition. But Bansuri Swaraj, at the end of the day, they are saying that they had announced a press conference at 10 a.m. Now what we are learning is that press conference has also been cancelled. Also, this particular video of Jasmine Shah, which he was banking on when he confronted those crime branch officials, he says that the crime branch officials were mandated by duty. They were duty bound to tell him what were the charges against Arvind Kejriwal. Why were they giving him that notice? Your reaction?
Thank you, Ayushmanji, and good evening to everyone. So let's put things in perspective. First of all, this is an old policy of the Aam Aadmi Party to shoot and then scoot. If you know, at least Shubhji and I agree on one aspect of repeated pattern. Just a few dates. August 23, Aam Aadmi Party made the same allegation, no proof was provided. December 22, same allegation was made, no proof was provided. 3rd February 2023, similar allegation, no proof was provided. Now, on 27th of January, the Aam Aadmi Party made a baseless, false but a very serious allegation, Bharatiya Janata Party poaching MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party. On 30th of January, our President Shri Virendra Sachdeva ji and our leader of the opposition, Ramveer Bidhuri ji, went to the police and lodged a complaint saying that these are very serious allegations. Please look into the allegations. Correct? Now, after that, it is a very logical consequence that the police will conduct a preliminary inquiry. There is a judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Mr. Dubey is also a lawyer here. He'll agree with me. Lalita Kumari, which is in 2014 2 SEC 1, paragraph 120.6. Point number D says that in corruption cases, a preliminary inquiry should be conducted. That's exactly what the police was doing. Its job. The crime branch individuals, the police officials came, and in law it is mandated that when a summon has been issued in somebody's name, then it ought to be served personally on that person. Very respectfully, Mr. Jasmine Shah did not have any locus or any standing to actually obstruct the crime branch officials or to even ask those questions. Simple aspect was that today you are making these false allegations that you have proof. The crime branch is asking you for that proof. Please see Ayushman ji, from 27th of January when the first press conference was held, today the Honorable Minister Atishi ji held a second press conference on 4th of February. Not an iota of evidence has been produced. Not a single name has been exposed.
Absolutely. And
why? Because these are all baseless. They're
Absolutely.
allegations. Again, as I said, shoot and scoot. And as you said, it is a great sense of humor that the Honorable Chief Minister has, that the BJP is asking him to join our party. I can tell you, nobody is laughing at this joke. It is absolutely baseless and false. Nobody is asking the
Absolutely.
Honorable
And in fact, pot shots were made at the crime branch officials themselves, where they were referred to as delivery boys. I don't think that kind of language is appropriate for the members of the crime branch, Shubh Malhotra. At the same time, I want to get the take of Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court, who's joining us. Mr. Dubey, this argument that's coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party, that even though the crime branch is giving us the notice, we will give the proof when we want to. At the, as Shubh Malhotra is saying, the opportune time, that's when we will furnish the evidence. At the same time, Jasmine Shah in his press conference said that I, as a common man of this country, was demanding answers of the crime branch officials. Now, can a common man as Jasmine Shah, because he doesn't hold a constitutional post, he's the head of a think tank of the Delhi government, can he demand answers from a crime branch official like that?
No, of course not. Ayushman, one thing is clear. When police wants to investigate or wants to take answer for when proposed accused or for any witness, police has power under the CRPC to ask that person to join the investigation. Supposingly, if Mr. Kejriwal would not have been there and Mr. Jasmine Shah would have been in charge of his entire affairs, then their question might have been answered by Mr. Jasmine Shah. But asking questions to an official or an investigating agency official who is going there on receipt of a complaint that, look, you have to come and join the investigation and certain questions have to be answered by you. Notice is issued by the police officials to ask the accused or any other person to appear before him for investigation purpose. As of now, what I understand and what I have read in the newspapers and news articles and through TV debates, it's a notice under section 41A. And 41A CRPC says that a police officer shall, in cases where the arrest of a person is not required for offences having punishment up to 7 years, issue a notice directing the person to appear before him or any other place as may be specified in the notice to join the investigation. And being an authority, heading a constitutional post, he should abide by all the laws of the country. It is not one time. Even ED summons duty not once, twice, thrice. He has evaded summons and are saying that, look, I would answer as and when I would want to. That is not available to a person, either to the witness, even to the accused person. He has to answer. He has to abide by the laws of the country. And so far as Mr. Shah is concerned, Mr. Shah is not the authorized person. Notice is only served to the person who has to answer the questions. So here he is wrong. Now, it is also not, the section 41A is very much clear, and the Supreme Court also have uphold the law saying that if you are asked by any agency or court to appear, you have to go and ask and answer those questions. So here if he is saying that it's a political vendetta, I don't think that's a political. Being a student of law, what I would say that heading the constitutional post, being the chief minister, such a responsible post, he must answer all the questions, and that too when police officials are standing there waiting for 5 hours, he should have come for 1 minute and would have answered that, look, you want to take my statement here, because the allegations, if you see that who would investigate, who is the authority to investigate any officer, is the police officials or any other agency of the country. Yes, Ayushman.
Right. Shubh Malhotra, how do you react to that? Jasmine Shah was no one to demand these answers of the crime branch officials, no matter what he says that I am an Aam Aadmi and they are duty bound to answer me. At the same time, Ashwini Dubey is not a political person over here. He's just read you out the fine letter of the law, and that, as per that, Arvind Kejriwal is duty bound, given the fact that he's Delhi Chief Minister, to answer the summons of the Enforcement Directorate. He has evaded them 5 times now.
So there are two things being spoken about over here. The first of which is the crime branch landing up at the CM's residence, and the second is the ED summons. So let me first deal with the first bit. The crime branch landing up at the CM's residence, while I'm all enamored by all the sections and the laws and everything being quoted in this program right now. But at that point in time, when it was demanded of the crime branch official that under what law or what rule does he want to personally hand over in the hands of the chief minister the letter, there was absolute silence on his part. He could not quote a single law.
But why should he indulge Jasmine Shah? That is the question.
That was being asked. There was no problem with the question that was being asked on part of Jasmine Shah, and there was no rule that was broken. There were three other things that were mentioned with respect to this. Number one, the crime branch person landed up to look into allegations. Number two, the notice was for preliminary inquiry. Number three, it was asking for proof. All of this is absolute false, because the document that was provided, it did not have any FIR, it did not have anything that demanded any question on part of the chief minister, it did not have any CRPC or IPC code, anything that was written. So none of this was mentioned in it, and it was a complete nautanki, because God knows how, along with the crime branch person, there were media persons also that landed up, and the crime branch persons were not able to answer a single question.
But Shubh Malhotra, Jasmine Shah is no one to ask these questions. Why should a crime branch official indulge Jasmine Shah? Who is he? He's not a he doesn't hold a constitutional post. He's the head of a think tank of your party, and at the same time, there are enough legal rulings in the past as well when it comes to these kind of media circuses which take place, that crime branch officials and investigation officials are not allowed to divulge this information. There are enough rulings over there. Bansuri Swaraj, you want to come in on that?
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, first of all, Shubhji said that there is no FIR mentioned. Let me just say procedurally, the FIR can only come as a consequence of the preliminary inquiry. Right now, the crime branch is only conducting a preliminary inquiry because the allegations have been made by Kejriwalji and Atishiji. It is logical that the crime branch is going to go to them and say, look, you have made these allegations. Please give us what is there to back these allegations. We are going to investigate them. So first of all, there can be no scope of an FIR. Second, Ayushman, you're absolutely right. What Mr. Dubey has said is absolutely correct. Mr. Jasmine Shah had no locus, no standing, no authority to actually obstruct the officials of crime branch from doing their job or even asking those questions. Of course, those summons, that notice had to be served on Mr. Kejriwal or Atishiji personally, because the notices were issued in their name. And like I said, why are they running away from joining the investigation? They have made such a serious allegation, provided no proof, no evidence to substantiate it. Today, the Bharatiya Janata Party is calling out their bluff, has gone and lodged a police complaint. Police officials are just doing their job. Come out and give those evidences. No? Give
Absolutely.
out, divulge those names.
Shubh Malhotra, I want to come in on this point, that when it comes to these kind of charges against the Aam Aadmi Party, let's talk about Liquorgate. When the BJP makes this charge that the Aam Aadmi Party has indulged in corruption, it has the court observations to back up its claim. If we look at, let's just look at Satyendra Jain. This is not Liquorgate, but the court in the case of Satyendra Jain said Satyendra Kumar Jain has prima facie indulged in the offence of money laundering of more than 1 crore. Jain is not entitled to the benefit of bail. Manish Sisodia, the possibility of the witnesses being influenced cannot be ruled out. The petitioner fails the triple test in the view of the seriousness of the allegations and his position. He was not only the architect of the conspiracy, but also the brain behind the insertion of clauses of 12% profit margin for the wholesalers and of enhancement of the eligibility criteria. Sanjay Singh, evidence and material is sufficient to furnish this court reasonable grounds for believing that he is guilty of the offence in terms of PMLA provisions. The BJP is armed with these observations of the court. Now, you're saying that there's an entire scandal to poach MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party. What is your evidence in that regard? What are you armed with at the end of the day?
See, there are two things that I take offense to over here. Number one is that again and again saying that Aam Aadmi Party follows a shoot and scoot and we are running away. If that is the case, then BJP follows a thook and chart strategy. Because that is what they do. First they say that Pawar chakki piecing, and then 2 days later BJP is forming the government with Haji.
You're in alliance with Lalu Prasad Yadav.
Yeah, so what about, so again, so why don't you answer about Narayan Rane?
No,
Why don't
you answer.
about-
Your plank. You started your entire. The Aam Aadmi Party started its
Yes, so
entire.
we are not-
It
we
started
are not
its
merging
entire
with the
career saying that we are against corruption. You are in alliance with Lalu Prasad Yadav, a
We are not merging with
convicted.
RJD.
Lalu Prasad Yadav was convicted in the Fortis scam.
Absolutely, you have the right. It's fine.
Arvind Kejriwal accused Arun Jaitley, Nitin Gadkari, Kapil Sibal, Bikram Singh Majithia of corruption. He had to take the rounds of the court and apologize to all of them. So what credibility are you talking about at the end of the day?
What credibility?
Absolutely.
I think if there is one chief minister who has proven himself in this country, it is only and only Arvind Kejriwal.
Did Arvind Kejriwal apologize to these individuals for accusing them of corruption?
I'm sorry?
Did Arvind Kejriwal apologize to Arun Jaitley, Nitin Gadkari, Kapil Sibal and Bikram Singh Majithia for accusing them of corruption? Did he go to the court and apologize?
No.
Yes, in
No,
defamation cases.
I am starting to wonder that, all of this discussion that is happening, it is trying to very, very intelligently, and BJP is also very intelligently trying to distract people away from the actual matter, which is this web of corruption that is being brought about by BJP's actions with respect to Operation Lotus that they have done throughout the country. Now, you can talk about what has happened 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, but it just means that you are indulging in whataboutery. What exactly is that is
You
happening
just started
right
the
now?
whataboutery. You started pointing to BJP and its allies who they once accused of corruption. Now they're in alliance with them.
No,
You're in alliance with the Congress party. You're in alliance with the RJD. You do the same thing.
That was to show a pattern of behavior on part of BJP of using Operation Lotus, just like East India Company went around India trying to get rulers of our kingdoms together, and at the end of the day, 100 years they looted India, and that is what BJP is doing at this point in time. No matter, you take your camera, you go anywhere in the country, any state in the country where BJP did not have the government, this is how they have formed the government. It is not surprising, and we again and again I'm saying we have presented proof earlier, valid proof earlier. We don't run away from what we say, and the same will be done in this case also.
Will be done, but that's the thing,
About earlier.
But that's the thing, that you can't choose to decide when you furnish the evidence if a complaint has been filed against you to furnish the evidence. You can't choose that at the end of the day. At the end of the day.
What rule is broken?
Sorry?
What rule is broken? Tell me, what rule is broken?
Ashwini Dubey, you want to reiterate those rules, please?
Tell me.
Of course, yes.
Go ahead.
Ayushman, the law casts a duty upon the noticee to comply with the condition mentioned in the notice issued. Now, 3 aspects. 1, when a summon is issued, the person is bound to state the truth upon any subject respecting which they are examined or making statements or any ongoing investigation, or to produce such documents as may be required. This is the settled law. Number 2, the investigating agency has power to summon anyone during the investigation, either before registering the FIR, as Bansuri said, or after registering the FIR during the course of an ongoing investigation under the law. Third, skipping a summon, whether repeatedly or once, it views as a non-cooperation and being evasive on the part of that individual. Individual may be an authority, individual may be a company, or individual may be a common citizen. Now, when the notice has been issued, it is Mr. Kejriwal or Honorable Chief Minister's duty to cooperate with the investigation. It is the procedure only. The court never says that, look, since you are heading a constitutional post, hence you will not answer those questions. And
Absolutely.
2, Ayushman, one more thing, the documents which are in your possession, you have to give on the date as and when called by the investigating agency. Individual cannot pick and choose that, look, I will come on this day and it is my wish either to produce or not to produce.
Right.
This is the law of the land. Over to you, Ayushman.
Right. Ms. Malhotra, Mr. Dubey just laid out the rules for you.
Very good. But where were these rules? When the person landed up at the CM's residence, the document that was provided, again I am saying, it did not mention any summons, it did not mention any FIR, it did not mention any preliminary inquiry or any section of the CRPC.
Ma'am, again we're circling the... I don't know, I have 2 lawyers over here who have laid out the entire procedure for you. You want to harp on this one point. I have even asked you for the details of those 7 MLAs who were contacted by the BJP. You don't have that also. Now, I was looking forward to...
said.
Ma'am,
why
I was
the
looking
person
forward to
landing
that
up at the
10 a.m.
US
I was looking
residence?
forward to that 10 a.m.
Why are
press
you
conference
so-
of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now that also stands cancelled. BJP has the observations of the courts. You only have hearsay from your parties. That is my point when it comes to this entire tussle. You can point to any of the BJP's political strategies when it comes to toppling governments. Let me assure you, your ally, the Congress party, has done this hundreds of times. So it can't be.
We are not merging with Congress. We are not merging
you're not.
with
You're not
RJP.
in the India Alliance. You are not in the India Alliance.
We are an alliance of parties.
Didn't you
with different
contest
ideology,
the
different
Chandigarh mayoral
ideology,
elections
who
with
have
the
come
Congress?
together to protect the constitution of this country.
Come on,
We are
come
not
on. It's
merging. We
political
are not
expediency at the end of the day.
forming
Bansuri
government
Swaraj,
like the BJP
last 30
did in
seconds to you.
Maharashtra, like the
Go ahead.
BJP did in
As I
Jharkhand.
said, this is a shoot and scoot policy, and there is a pattern. Mr. Kejriwal had to personally apologize to Mr. Nitin Gadkari, Mr. Kapil Sibal, Mr. Amit Sibal in March 2018. He had to personally apologize in defamation proceedings to Swargya Shri Arun Jaitley ji on 2nd April 2018. It is their old propaganda to make baseless false allegations without any proof, without a shred of evidence, and then think that there will be no consequences. This time, the Bharatiya Janata Party has called out their bluff and they need to join the investigation. They cannot pose such hurdles in the investigative process the way they did the so-called Nautanki. This is a word I'm drawing from their vocabulary, which they did at the Honorable CM's residence yesterday and today at Atishji's place.
Absolutely. And I hope Arvind Kejriwal now doesn't end up apologizing for accusing the BJP of poaching its MLAs, because the case is now moving ahead. But thank you, Bansuri Swaraj, BJP spokesperson, Shubh Malhotra of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court, for joining us on this very explosive weekend debate. That's all we have to pack it on the show. Thank you for watching.